Bootstrap characteristics. Well, first of all, you have the traditional bootstrapping idea. Simply put, what is a bootstrapper? That's somebody that takes the materials and resources that are present in their own environment and figure out how to make use of them to serve their needs. In the context of enterprise or business, basically bootstrappers are folks that generally have very little capital available, dollars, and so they figure out ways to bootstrap their company from what they have available. Sometimes they use credit cards, sometimes they borrow money from families and friends, some they don't have any money. They say, there's a business opportunity over there, let me see if I can turn that into dollars, taking what's available to you to generate revenue stream. That's the traditional model. Our model at the KI EcoCenter, the Bootstrap for Visionaries, is really focused on a couple of different kinds of techniques as we define bootstrapping. One, through a social enterprise lens and not purely an economic lens. What's a social lens? You're not only trying to generate an entrepreneurial mindset where you're getting your grind on, but you're also trying to apply that to serve some social need, some social outcome that benefits more than just your need to generate a revenue stream. That question makes me think about a couple of books I want to mention that's linked to why our model is so important today in this time and place. And the reason it's important is a couple of things. One, the issue of climate change, food security, water issues, land issues, air issues. These particular challenges are going to just continue to get bigger and bigger over the course of the next 10, 15, 20 years. So what we need now is another way of seeing and doing things in the world, or at least a paradigm shift. Now that term became popularized after a book published by Thomas Kuhn. The title of the book is A Structure of Scientific Revolutions. And in that book, they talk about periods when, in the scientific arena, the world changes, a different way of seeing the world. You tie it back to physics, for example. Newton, you had the Newtonian approach to physics, force equal mass times acceleration, alpha fall out of 3, hit you in the head, gravity. And then later comes quantum physics, Einstein, a few other folks, Bohr. And these guys said, wait, well, the world is not exactly what we think it looks like. Or even the idea from flat, the world was considered to be flat, to the world being round. When these things come into being, there's a paradigm shift. And I think we definitely live in that period now where the world's in the midst of a paradigm shift. What used to work is not working. Those that are following the old model are still trying to hold on to that model. They recognize that it's not working, but they're trying to put new clothes on a decadent model. And here at the KI EcoCenter, the Kepler Institute, Bootstrapping for Visionaries is really about a new way of doing things, a new way of seeing the world, and creating solutions using the bootstrap lens, starting where you are, what you have, what's in front of you, to address the issue of sustainability, the issue of human relationships being more important than the collection of material trinkets, and attempting to try to look at local issues tied to a global perspective that will allow us to address the pressing issues of climate change, food security, food, air, water, and Mother Earth. Another title that comes to mind relates to our model again is a book titled Fifth Discipline, written by Peter Senge. And this book is, I believe, about 10, 15 years old. And this text talks about system thinking and looking at how different parts are interconnected and are interrelated, and how if you impact one piece over here, how it impacts the whole. And that it's important to, as you problem solve and troubleshoot and create, that you look at things in a holistic way, in a system kind of way. The last one I like to speak to is also, and none of these ideas are new or just come out of the Western paradigm, even though I've quoted two authors that have come out of this Western tradition. These are ideas that indigenous people from around the world have lived, breathed, and acted upon naturally without necessarily separate from their consciousness. The idea of improvisation, the idea of intuition have been ways, the trickster, Papa Legba, tricksters from around the world. These are ideas, these are archetypes that speak to other forms of realities that have, back prior to the world become so separated, the spiritual from the rational, were used to move through the world in a holistic kind of way. So here at the Kepler Institute, the EcoCenter, the Bootstrap for Visionaries, we try to incorporate these ideas that represent a new way of thinking, or really a return to an old way of thinking when the material spiritual world were more aligned, when Mother Earth and humans were more in sync with each other.